please welcome Patrick Warburton to our program.
Preston, Steve, gang, thanks for having me here.
Good to see you, sir. Thank you for being
Good to be here.
I love, I'm a fan of your voiceover work. I mean, I have kids, and they're turning into teenagers now, but from time to time, the TV will be on, and I'll just hear your voice pop up. And I mean, in Mr. Peabody, you were hilarious in that as well. You get quite a bit of work in that field, don't you?
Yeah, I've been doing, since I started about 15, 16 years ago, I had two great opportunities. One was to do Buzz Lightyear in the TV series because Tim Allen wasn't going to do it. And Kronk in The Emperor's New Groove.
Yes, yeah.
And that was interesting because I didn't do voiceover work. And I just got these 4 pages of a Kronk and an Yzma. And Disney's very secretive with their stuff. And I had to look at this, and you got to figure out what this character sounds like. But first, if it's animated, you got to figure out what the character is. Like, I don't know if he's an ogre or a robot or a giant or what. It's
once that's established, do they kind of leave you to your own devices to sort of hash it out? Or does a director say, we want it tonally to sound like this, or
no? See, they don't know.
Okay,
they don't know what a character sounds like until they hear it. You know, they can see in the storyboards what it looks like, what he looks like, and this and that. But they want somebody to come in and show them what the character sounds like.
They rely on you as an actor to kind of
to bring
give a
something
subtext
to
it. Wow, okay, that's cool.
So I was looking at it, and all I knew is he's a big guy, and he was sort of a reticent henchman. And I thought, well, you know, he probably doesn't sound dark or this or that.
Yeah,
he seems kind of sweet. He likes to cook, so. Yeah, it all kind of came down here. And just became a little goofy. He likes to talk to squirrels. You got to be well versed in all the woodland creatures, not just the squirrels. Squeakity squeak.
It's great. I can actually now. There's like 40 characters going in my mind that pass through.
Can I ask you one question about Puddy on Seinfeld? Whose direction was it, or was it your idea to just stare off into the distance? Because you got so many laughs without even saying a word some of the time, and it just was you just sit there and be kind of a brain dead idiot.
I'm going to take credit for the just staring and Puddy was it was just a guest spot, you know, and really it was just a means to an end. It was just a guy who stole Jerry's move because Jerry told him about it. And I thought I had to bring something else in the room there that maybe like a different direction with this character that they hadn't seen. Because if you look at it in the writing, you know, the guy doesn't seem like he's
particularly amusing, right? I mean,
yes, or perhaps even you know, missing a few marbles, I guess, as they say. So I just kind of made him, you know, a little bit clueless.
You need to see his face right now. Yeah. He just went into Puddy mode.
Yeah. And
which you
because I think a lot of guys went in there and like, yeah, you know, I don't even do that or whatever, you know, like Tony's and Vinny's.
Right.
I just made him just a big idiot.
You made him more superficial than was she, and that because the cast was, and that was her whole thing. They were very superficial people, and you exceeded her, and she didn't know how to deal with it. The character,
but Puddy was spiritual, and don't forget that.
Yes, he was. Deep.
He wouldn't steal the paper because he wasn't going to hell.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Your association with Seth MacFarlane on Family Guy and the Ted movies and all that stuff. When did you first meet him? How did that start? It
was just, you know, a pilot or a first pickup for this show, you know, and I looked at it and I thought, can I do this? You know, this is terrible.
It's so passionately wrong that there's a certain charm to that it's so committed.
Yeah.
That makes it uniquely, I think, lovable. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I still have to keep explaining satire to my parents. My dad, because they're so religious. My dad was almost in tears one time. He left a message on my phone. He said, you know, in a future episode of Family Guy, God is sitting in a lazy boy chair next to a bottle of lotion getting ready to masturbate. I wish you would get off that show. Click. And
oh my God. But you have I've seen you publicly sort of, you know, say there sometimes you have difficulty. I mean, they have to be happy that at least you voice some reservation periodically to keep harmony at home.
Sure, you know, at times. But I mean, the greatest irony is that I donate. I send money. I got to send money my parents' way, you know. you know, and so we helped them out a little bit here and there. But my mom can't stop donating to her charities. I'm like, Mom, if you're asking for money, you can't be donating.
Right.
One of her charities is Parents for Quality TV, and all they try to do, my mother's sign petitions, actual petitions, to get Family Guy off the air.
So you weren't joking earlier when you said
joking.
that.
No, I was not joking. No.
Oh my God.
So I go, Mom, if you can't see the irony, I give you money, Family Guy money, and you take it to get Family Guy off the air. She goes, well, I have a responsibility to the Lord and I don't care.
Oh my gosh.
I waited until I was 50 years old before I decided that I wanted to sing and be in a band.
Wow.
Now I have a Pearl Jam cover band. We're the Bearded Pearl Clams.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, this station specifically was called out on stage locally by Eddie Vedder himself, and Nick was mentioned on stage by Eddie Vedder himself.
Right here.
Is he acutely aware of your overarching fandom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I probably met him, now somewhere around a dozen times, and he's been super, super cool. He let me write it. I met him backstage once in L.A., and I got word that this is in Los Angeles, so everybody was there. Sean Penn and John Krakauer, and there's 200 people backstage. But somebody grabbed me and said, "Eddie knows you're here. He wants to see you." So. I go back there and he goes, "Yeah, you got to write a set list." And he gave me his email. I wrote a set list. What? Yeah, and then I brought my son to his first concert, but his first Pearl Jam concert, and we were there. And
for the set list you wrote?
For the set list.
Well, all right.
Holy crap!
What they open with?
Well, they didn't open. There are about 33 songs, 35 songs in the night.
Yeah.
Probably about 27 of them were my set, So
Oh my God!
They didn't open with it, so I didn't know what was going to go on. They opened with Long Road, which should have been on my set list, but it wasn't. And then I forget what the next song was, and then they did Alone from Lost Dogs. I was like, oh wow, was on mine. And
so
then,
you thought maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
and then a few more started rolling out. And
how much time and effort did you put into writing that set list? I mean, did you think it out? Oh, this will flow great into the next song, or did you just put a bunch of songs you liked on there?
I just put I pretty much just put a bunch of songs.
Okay.
And I had some friends that I know that are hardcore.
So did you weave
the rest of the show is courtesy of Patrick Warburton.
did you weave in hits and rarities and did
Yes.
you? All right. So as a Pearl Jam fan, you had it in the back of your mind. I got to I when they were in town, I asked him to open up with Release, which was my favorite Pearl Jam song, and he said right, but he said no. But
What do you think you are, Patrick Warburton?
Right. But he asked later. Because he was crafting the set list when he came in and did the interview with us when Eddie did that, and there's a song called "Comeback," which was on the last record, and I asked him to play that, and they did. So I don't know. This is I'm totally geeking out when talking to you about this, but I'm really glad you can appreciate it because as a Pearl Jam fan, it means a lot.
I was at a show one time. Well, this is the show when because my wife just knows how ridiculous it is, and. We're backstage, and Eddie gave me his Social Distortion T-shirt. And we're walking back to the car, and I haven't said a word. And but my wife knows I'm just beside myself. He just gave me his email. I'm going to write a set list. He gave me his Social Distortion T-shirt. And right when we got to the car, I just looked at her, and I held the shirt up, and I sniffed it.
Of course.
And then I looked at her with this terrible frown on my face, and I go, it's clean.
Now be honest.
Brilliant.
Is it your whoopee now?
That's great.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.